Madhava Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Yamunatira Varachari Yamunatira Varachari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya. Nitai Gaur Haribo 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 Nitai Gaur Haribo. Gaur Premanande Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parirajikara Stotra Satya Srimad Divine Grace Abhay Charanarvindesi Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parirajikara Stotra Satya Srimad Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Vedanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Ananda Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Gaura Premanande. All glories assembled devotees, all glories assembled devotees, all glories Sri Guru and Gauranga, all glories Srila Prabhupada Ki. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirahe Nasta Prayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Utamasloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 63, Text 14 to 15, 14 to 16. So we'll just recite text number 14, which is on the board. Mohitva tu Grisham Jibam Setrena Jibhitam Bhanasaya Pratitham Saurir Jagansasi Gandhive Shubhai Mohitva tu Grisham Jabamite Sena Jambitvam Bhanaseya Patitam Sosir Ganesham Gadabhushubhi Mohitva tu Girishasam Jambhibhitre Sena Jambhititam Tena Jibhititam Bhanasya Patiman Sosir Jaghitsana Gadheshubhi Mohitva tu Girisham Jibhibhitre Sena Jambhitvatam Panasya Patimam Sauririr Gani Bhasyani Gadeshuvi. Please chant. Mohitvang Girisha Vivalitrina Jivitam Dhanasya Hidri Saurvir Jagana Sinajade Subhi Mohitva Girisha Jangalayatina Jivitam Manasaritam Saurvir Garjanani Subhi Mataji Mohitwano Girishan Jinvanatina Panasya Gagam Sovi Jaganadeshu Gadeshuvi. Thank you very much. So we'll repeat word meaning. Mohitwa bewildering. To then Girisham Lord Shiva Jambabhana Astrena with the yawning weapon Jambitam made to yawn Bhanasya of Bana Patimanam the army Sauri here Lord Krishna Jagannath struck Asi with his sword Gadam club Ishubhi and arrows. Translation and purport by disciples of His Divine Grace, Srila Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation. After bewildering Lord Shiva by making him yawn with his yawning weapon, Lord Krishna proceeded to strike down Banasura's army with his sword, club, and arrows. Since there is no purport for this, we'll just go text 15. Translation. Lord Kartikeya was distressed by the flood of Pradyumna's arrows raining down from all sides, and thus he filled the battlefield on his peacock as the blood poured from his limbs. Text 16. Kumbhananda and Krupakarna are tormented by the Lord's Balrama's club, fell down dead. When the soldiers of these two demons saw that their leaders had been killed, they scattered in all directions. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gnananjanam Shalakaya Chakshorulmitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dati Supadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Gutapadakamalam Sri Guru Vaisnavamsya Sri Rupam Sabrajatam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Pada Sahaganadina Tata Prapantam Jivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Pada Sahaganadina Asi Vishakamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Tarubhascha Krupa Sindhu Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So those you are coming for the first time of Bhagavatam class. So I just recap the context of this verse. Actually, one should know the context of the verse, then they can understand the present scenario, what's going on. So this was a fight between Lord Krishna and Lord Shiva. Actually, there's a big story. It's happening. There's a battlefield. Two parties were fighting. One is Lord Krishna's party with all his grandson, son, and Lord Shiva's party with all his disciples. We heard that from yesterday's class that Lord Shiva's disciples are mostly ghostly prachetas, rakshasas, brahma rakshasas. They were all fighting. They were all throwing arrows from each other. Like, for example, when Lord Shiva releases Brahmastra, to counterattack that, Lord Krishna also released Brahmastra. When Lord Shiva releases his Pashupatastra, personal weapon, and Lord Krishna also releases his personal Astra, Narayana. So we see that counteraction between the Lord Shiva and Lord Krishna, and we know that who is the superior, who is the supreme personality of Godhead. Obviously, Lord Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. So here they are performing the pastime to enhance the mellow rasa. One of the rasa is called Virya rasa. The fight between like we see in the Mahabharata, Bhishma Deva and Krishna, they were fighting. Actually, Lord Krishna was took vow that he will not take any weapon, but Bhishma Deva induced, provoked him to take the weapon. So to enhance that leela, to enhance the pastime, they were fighting actually. So here also Lord Shiva clearly knows that he is going to lose the battlefield. He is going to lose the battle. But still he fought because to make his disciple Banasura happy and to enhance the pastime. So today's present verse, we see the in text 14, Lord Shiva was bewildered by the arrow which is released by Lord Krishna, yawning arrow. Surprisingly, there are so many arrows in this. Uh, One is yawning arrow. How nice it is. Like if you are not getting sleep in the night, if you have insomnia, just somebody ask, release a yawning arrow, then immediately you go back to sleep. Correct. So there is this much advanced, weapons we found in our history, in the culture of Vedic culture. In the modern days, we don't find these type of weapons. In the modern days, we find only weapons destructive. It can destroy entire humanity. But that is also has got some limitations. Like we see that in the yesterday's verse, like Lord Shiva, when he released Brahmastra, and Brahmastra is such a uh, topmost weapon in one sense. Like it can destroy the universes, not only the part of the globe, or not only the part of the country, not only part of the city. It can destroy the universes, and it can destroy even the universes, and it can destroy only one person. It has got that capacity. It's not that it's just released. Like we hear from Mahabharata, when Ashwadhama came to know that like he was going to die, then he immediately released the Brahmastra so that it can target only the the person which is in Mother Uttara, which is nothing but uh, Parikshit Maharaj, it can only harm only the particular person, not the planet, not the country, not the city. But whereas we see the modern weapons, Brahmastra, sorry, modern weapons, nuclear weapon, which can it cannot target only one person or one single entity. It can destroy whole country because of one person made a mistake. So the whole country was get destroyed. We see, Hiroshima, Nagasaki. So many years ago, the how it was whole country was destroyed. Many people were died. So this is so much gross kind of attack. But in the Vedic culture, there was science is so advanced that it can only destroy a particular person. So my point is that here that we are very much proud of that, that we are getting advanced, and we are much advanced than our previous uh, like culture or previous ages. But no, but these people are much advanced. We hear that we get information from this particular verse. One is called yawning weapon. you know you just yawn, and Krishna made Lord Shiva yawn, and immediately goes to sleep and immediately proceed towards Banasura's army to strike with his sword, club, and arrows. So, just read the Jiva Goswami has a little bit commentary on this. I just read this. Krishna made Shiva faint with his yawning weapon. The Harivamsa says. This one another commentary from Harivamsa. Shiva was still holding his arrow and bow, suddenly yawned and lost consciousness because of the Lord's weapon. The Lord was conqueror of demons. The sword and club arrows were progressively more effect at the distance. It was pretty much same information given by Srila Jiva Goswami. Srila Jiva Goswami is commenting that exactly situation what's happening there. How Lord Shiva has got yawned, and what is he holding on it, and how he became unconsciousness. Because Krishna doesn't want to kill Lord Shiva because he is a devotee. We know that. Sometimes the quarrel between the devotees it happens. Like we see here, Lord Shiva and is quarreling with the Lord Krishna. He very well knows that this is a part of the pastime, but still they fought with full power. It's not that this is part of a drama, we need to fight, no, but still they got fight, and he immediately got defeated, and he wants to enhance the pastime. So Lord Shiva was, even though we we see that so much powerful, but still he lost the match. Again we see that this pastime is also happening in the Ramayana. Before Ramayana took place, the Indra got a again question, is a doubt. Who is the powerful personality between Lord Shiva and Lord Narayan? So he got this question. Then he went to Indra went to Lord Shiva and asked. So I have a question. So I want to know who is powerful between you both. Is it Lord Vishnu or Lord Shiva? Then Lord Shiva immediately replied, can't you see I'm chanting the name of Hari? Obviously, you should get the answer. Why you are making again this question? No, no, I want to see this happening. So I want to, really, it's not that, my doubt is not clear. Since I know that you are chanting the name of the Lord Vishnu, but still I want to have this fight going on between. Still, well, Lord Shiva says, okay, if your desire so, let it may be fulfilled. Then Lord Shiva came on battlefield, and he is at the same time Indra went to the Lord Vishnu. He says that I want to. see the battle between you both. So again, they both got on the battlefield, and Lord Shiva is standing with his arrow, bow and arrow, and Lord Vishnu is also standing with his bow and arrow. Then Lord Vishnu doesn't release arrow; he just says home, hum. With that hum, that arrow, that what you call that bow got cracked. Though immediately he gave up the war. See, without fighting, he just say home car. That this arrow got cracked. So immediately he gave that bow and arrow to the Indra. So now I lost the battlefield because before starting it I was defeated. So this is another pastime which is took place many years ago before Lord Ramayana pastime. Though that same bow was given to the Devatas. That same bow carried down to the dynasty of Lord Ramachandra. The same bow Lord Ramachandra broke into pieces. So this is a pastime where we see that Lord Vishnu is the most powerful, because we see that there is so much debate happening between the disciples of Lord Shiva, followers of Lord Shiva, and followers of Lord Vishnu. So, but at the same time, we get the information from the Srimad Bhagavatam. That's why Srimad Bhagavatam, the scriptures are very important to have the knowledge. So when we don't have the knowledge of the scriptures, we make many speculations. We think that according to the me, this is he is a supreme personality of Godhead. According to you, he is a supreme personality of Godhead. According to the disciples of Lord Shiva, Lord Shiva is a supreme. According to Lord Vishnu, he is a supreme. But actually, who is the Lord? Who is the supreme personality of Godhead? Who is the most powerful? Who is the Adipurusha? But only we get from information from Srimad Bhagavatam. Otherwise, we keep on speculation, we keep on going, argument, but we don't get an end. One has to surrender. We see that in Bhagavad Gita, you know, Lord, when he was Lord saying that Arjuna to fight, initially he was not fighting because he didn't accept Lord Krishna as a spiritual master. He was giving so many kind of arguments, like when I killed my father, sorry, when I killed my grandfather, teacher, their wives become widows, and by that all their destiny, all their progeny will get polluted. The women will become polluted, and there will be a Varna Shankarna. So in that context, actually Arjuna was correct, but still, what is called higher dharma, what is called higher principle, whatever Krishna says, one has to follow. That is higher principle of life. When Krishna says, whatever, whether if you are do it right or wrong, when Krishna says you do it wrong, still it is good will become right. So that is the process of surrenderness. So even sometimes we see that in the Mahabharata, Lord Krishna asked Dharmaraj to say lie. Because Dharmaraj is a person who never said lies in his life. But when he asked Dharmaraj to say lie, the immediately Dharmaraj rejects. No, I will not say lie because I throughout my life I have been following this vow. But when he said immediately, the Dharmaraj was immediately fell from his seat. So that is a reaction of rejecting the words of Lord Krishna. So here also we see that when Lord Shiva was fighting, to make his disciple happy, Banasura, when immediately he got defeated by the yawning weapon. That's a very fantastic weapon, and immediately became unconsciousness. And Lord's duty is to paritranaya sadhuna vinashaya dushkitam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Destroy the demons and protect the devotees and enhance, protect the religious principles. So with that, he proceed towards the Banasura's army. He kills all the different peoples, And in the text 15, Lord Kartikeya was distressed by the flood of Pradyumna's arrows. So Pradyumna is also the expansion of Lord Krishna and is a son of the Lord Krishna. So when he releases arrows from all the sides, and then he got also defeated. So basically, these three verses are describing the battle field, what's happening in the battlefield, and how they are defeated. With a brief description is given. So Kartikeya is also is Lord Shiva's son. But either here Jiva Goswami gives a comment on having described Lord Krishna's victory. Now Sukadeva Goswami described other victories of his followers in two verses. So when we hear these pastimes, when we understand, when we study in the deep of the deep, when we understand deep knowledge, then we will get liberation from this material life. That's what said in Bhagavad Gita. Janma karma cha me divyam yevam yo veti tatvata tattva deham punarjanma naiti mame so Arjuna. So, one who understands the Krishna's pastimes, birth, activities, and his actions, one who understands in tattvataha, in deep, then he will not get again rebirth in this material world. One may ask, what is the harm in getting again birth in this material world? People, they will ask, it is very good to have a life with a family members, but problem is that we cannot understand what we are going through, sufferings. There are so much sufferings in this material world. One is adhyatmika, adidaivik, and adibhautik, the miseries from the material nature. Yesterday we saw so much rain, you know, and so much heat, so much rain, and so much of miseries caused by other living entities, and so much miseries caused by one's own mind. These are all the problems which we face. But still, people want to continue in this life, making solutions of all the problems. But one should understand one cannot make a solution for all the problems. See, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Arjuna, in the beginning of second chapter, Krishna's instruction first, that was the first instruction which is given by Krishna, you know, that one has to tolerate. If you keep making solution for this all the problems, you will be frustrated. One has to learn how to tolerate. When you learn how to tolerate these miseries or these problems of life, then you are able to, when you are a person who can eligible to liberation. But otherwise, you make a solution in the process of making solution for every problem, you'll get frustrated. That's Krishna's instruction in the Bhagavad Gita. Here we see that same thing when Krishna was fighting. So many people from the Lord Shiva's disciples, they were killed and they were defeated. But for the sake of the Banasura, he was fighting, and it is understood that finally Lord Shiva was destroyed. So Lord Shiva was defeated, and Banasura was also defeated by son of Lord Krishna, Samba. Then he understood the demonic people is always attack the religious people. It's always there. If one is practicing Krishna consciousness, you know the people from the opposite side, they always fight, because that's the nature of the demonic people. The demonic people, they always want to pose the religious principle, religious person, but still one may lose the hope initially, but finally he will get victory. That's what it said in why one has to perform his activity, one has to perform his religious principle with great determination. In the nectar of instruction we see that dadate pratikrinan, what is it called, utsaha nichaya dhairya tat tat karma pravartanat. When you have enthusiasm, to perform devotional service with a great determination, with patience, you will get everything. But when you lose the patience, when you lose the determination, you will not able to practice the devotional service. Similarly, it is there in all fields. One may or may not understand. Initially, if, for example, if a person starts a business, initially he may not see the profit. Initially, he may see the loss. But if he keeps continuing, if he with a great determination, he will be successful. If he give up, again he will lose. But which is natural in every field. In the same thing we see in the devotional life also. But initially demons may attack. One may get uh, troublesome with one's own mind, one's own neighbor, one's own body, one's own people. But with a great faith and determination, when you perform the devotional activity, you will get victory. So here, though they were powerful demons attacking from all the sides, Krishna and his sons and grandsons, they defeated Lord Shiva. You know, by this action we can understand, even though you may be so powerful, if you stand against the religious principle, against the Lord Krishna, you will get defeated. And one other example we see that in the Mahabharata, the Bhishma Pitamaha, so he was also following the religious principle. But if he stands opposite to the Krishna, he will get defeated. So there is no much commentary on this verses. If you have any comments, suggestions, questions, please ask. Sandra Prabhu. Uh, Subal Prabhu.
Thank you, Naveen Prabhu. Um, there was something quite interesting on how the pastime unfolded, that we see that Lord Krishna, although defeated Lord Shiva, Lord Shiva's followers, headed by Kartikeya, Banasura himself, they were not got the ultimate punishment of death. They were they were spared.
Yes.
We have in the case of Lord Shiva, because he's Krishna's devotee, and his heart was performing a service for Lord Krishna by fighting with him. So he used this
Hmm.
joining weapon
Yeah.
that took his consciousness away. Kartikeya was a spare, so he had to flee.
Right.
Banasura was protected by the blessings given to Prahlad Maharaj.
Right.
So, but the followers of Banasura were killed.
Correct.
And although, you have this case of Kumbanda, who was the main general of Banasura, and he knew better because he told Banasura, I think Kumbanda was the father of Chitraleka. Is that correct, Krishna? Remember? He's the father of Chitraleka, which is the intimate friend of Usha who made the whole thing happen, getting Aniruddha. So at one point, Kumbanda was able to understand this is all good. And he advised Banasura, it's very good arrangement. So just, be happy with it. To have Aniruddha, such a powerful prince, part of the family. Uh, but Banasura declined, and this demon, by obligation, I guess, by his nature, he made the choice to fight, although he knew better that, there was nothing wrong with the arrangement. He made the choice to fight for the cause, the irreligious cause of Banasura, and he
Right.
got killed. He
Right.
was killed. So not Banasura, but he was killed, and also the army and the other generals.
Yes. Yes.
So it's quite something that to make a choice to follow, although even knowing better, to follow irreligiosity, it can be devastating for these, personalities. You never know. So, I mean, it's quite a case there because Banasura got spared.
Yes.
Banasura got spared because of
Yeah, yeah,
having
because
that
yes,
blessings, but
yeah,
everybody else was killed.
yeah, because of that, last, he got a boon from his great great grandfather that you will in your dynasty nobody will get killed. That's a boon got from the supreme personality of Godhead. So again, the followers they were defeated. Some followers got killed, and some followers saved. Like we see that in the Lord Shiva's followers, no, none of them were killed. You know, they were all devotees of Lord Shiva, but it was noted by Lord Krishna. So, like in the yesterday's verse, it is clearly mentioned the devotees of Lord Shiva, none of them were killed. They were just defeated because Lord Krishna doesn't want to get hurt of Lord Shiva's followers. So one point is like which is very very appropriate, which is very very makes sense to know what kind of association you are in. That makes lots of difference. If you are like one time a reporter asked Prabhupada, you know, Swamiji, how you became a devotee? Then Prabhupada asked the reporter same question, how you became a journalist? Then Prabhupada, then journalist told that I was interested in that field and associated with the people who are in journalists. Then I became a journalist. Similarly, when you associate with the devotees, you'll become a devotee. Like that, association is biggest change in our life. Like Chanika Pandit says, then you tell me your friend's character, I will tell your character. Chanika Pandit makes this statement. So when you tell me your friend's character, how he is he, then I can tell your character. So association is very most important. At the same time, what kind of association you have, accordingly you'll get results of your action. Thank you.
It's just thinking, just add to that. When you're thinking the consequences of following an unqualified leader,
Right.
there's consequences for that one have to face. I mean, I'm thinking those people who attack the White House, the Capitol, the Senate, and the whole on January 6th. They were following an unqualified leader, and then they got some of them are in jail. For they have to face quite a bit of punishment for that.
Punishment.
So there is a consequence for following an unqualified leader,
Right.
even for people that knew better and that have a sense. I mean, say in that case of that we in the politics of this country, that some people knew that there was no cause, there was all lies, and they follow, and now they're facing all kinds of legal consequences like that. So this idea of one have to be very careful and thoughtful that there are serious consequences when you follow an unqualified leader.
Mm. Yes. Chandra Prabhu ki
Yeah, I wanted to
jai.
extend on that, not only following the qualified leader, but also following an unqualified cause.
Mm.
So sometimes you can even see um, with Grandfather Bhishma,
Yes.
and they're using him as a post to generate a victory, yet the cause was not qualified. He's qualified,
Mm.
but the cause isn't qualified. So you find in circumstances that people get behind, and you see this with a lot of the um, let's save the whales, let's do this. And the cause is not qualified because you have both unqualified leaders, right? Their temperament is we're going to save the animals, but they're at some restaurant that, that they're eating animals, right? So there's this duplicity that takes place, which only exists in matter. So if we start extrapolating the psychology of understanding who's qualified, well, the first step is, are you qualified,
Right.
right? You have to have some qualification. And then, how do I get qualified? What do I need to do to purge these things so that I can really identify myself? And Prabhupada's written books on self-discovery, this kind of. So we have to understand who we are as a soul, and then when we get that, then there's the alignment that takes place. Then you can get into qualified leaders, and even if the leaders, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, there's fault in any endeavor, but he's sarvakarana karanam. So he arranges things in a certain way for the lesson. But then he arranges things for those because they have no intention
Right.
of following. So this is why you have a bogus cause. So this is what the state of affairs that we're in right now.
Thank you. You have anything? Okay. We'll close.
The whole reason for the battle uh, was the fact that Aniruddha had got bound up, and so Krishna and the entire entourage arrived because of hearing that Aniruddha was in that situation. Uh, so Manasura, the complexity of the dynamic that actually Lord Shiva made an arrangement that Banasura would get punished by Krishna because he was attuned to what Krishna wanted. So Banasura himself, uh, didn't go into battle. It was just his action of rejecting Aniruddha that created the battle and led to Lord Shiva's desire for his devotee Banasura to be punished by Krishna. So it was a very complex arrangement, and the alignment that Chandra is talking about was very much Lord Shiva being aligned with Lord Krishna's desires that allowed for the punishment of Banasura.
Right.
So it's quite a complex arrangement, actually. It's not simply a battle ensuing. It's really Lord Shiva being so aligned with Lord Krishna's desires.
Yeah, Krishna orchestrated everything very well so that his mission will be fulfilled. Like I said in the Bhagavad Gita, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Like Krishna's mission is to destroy the demonic people and protect the devotees. To that he uses his devotees too. Sometimes, we see in the Mahabharata, like Pandavas has to undergo severe, problems. Even though Krishna was there with them, but still, they have to undergo all kinds of troublesome. For what? To protect the religious principle and to protect the dharma. So here in this case, Lord Krishna uses Lord Shiva, even though he's a devotee, and to enhance the pastime and to fulfill his mission. Even though it is so much complex and so much we cannot understand why Lord, the great personalities are fighting between each other. That seems to be, like bewildering for the minds of the people in general. They both are, in one sense, Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu. They should be, giving, they should be teaching the people in general how leaders should be, how God should be, like how they should be by their example. But in one sense, they are fighting, with the disciple, with the sake of their disciple. But still, we can understand only deep meaning when we study the commentary of a different acharyas, different people. But if you same context, if you put it in some new person, like, who doesn't know any background, who doesn't have any background of this knowledge, then he will make, he will speculate, and he will see great personalities are also fighting. They will make fun of it, or they will speculate it. What is their fighting? Big leaders now, they are fighting, between countries, states, nations. They are also fighting. But this fighting and the fight between Lord Krishna and Lord Shiva are not the same. One should understand this. That is a pastime. There we get the information from Srimad Bhagavatam. But they are not fighting for the sake of land or something. Oh, you got so much oil, so that's why I want to fight with you, and I want to conquer your country, and I want to rule it over. No, that is totally mundane. But here it is not like that. But Krishna's, that's why we need to know tattvataha. Janma karma cha me divyam yovam vevati tattvata. Tattvata means in deep, the essence, what actions the Lord Krishna is performing. When you know in truth, absolute truth, then you will understand. Then you will not compare these fights are same as the fight between the leaders of the nation. So, but still, my point is that, Krishna orchestrated everything such a way that, everything will take place harmonizingly, and so that his mission will be fulfilled. That's commentary. Is it? Okay. We'll stop here. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Premanande.